What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. Tonight, it is August 3rd, Wednesday evening. We're going to be doing a Yahoo half PPR mock draft here. So we're going to hop into a screen share. It looks like the draft's starting in about a minute or so. And we're going to be drafting from the 6th overall pick. This is a 12-team mock. This is actually my first Yahoo mock draft of the season, so I'm not sure about ADP. We'll just kind of take it and see what happens here. We'll be toggling back and forth with my projections, which you can get in the 2022 draft kit, link in the description below. But yeah, we're just going to hang out, have fun, see what happens at the 6th spot. We shout out to Justin, shout out to Aiden. Thanks for hanging out with us. I think we got Aiden. I think Aiden is the number 2 pick here. I'm the number 6 pick. And yeah, we're just going to have fun with this. And again, I haven't done a Yahoo mock draft all season yet. So this is interesting. Half PPR. I'm more of a PPR guy, but this is for you. If you have half PPR, Yahoo, any other kind of formatting thing that lines with this should be a good video for you. But otherwise, do check out, we have a playlist for you guys. If you want to check out other positions that I got going on. I've done a handful of mock drafts. So yeah, Yahoo ADP. We'll see, man. It's a little interesting here. Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook are their top 5. Kind of weird seeing Dalvin Cook that high compared to ESPN. I mean, I know ESPN's not perfect, but Yahoo does have a decent platform here, it looks like. And you can see the guys here on the far right going off the board. I'm curious if there is, we'll have to learn together here. I'm curious if there's a like a draft board we can look at. So it's my turn to draft. Derrick Henry went 5th overall. So we're looking at Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson. It is half PPR. I got 19 seconds to do it. And with my projections, I'm still filtering by half PPR. I have Justin Jefferson as my top player available. So we'll go ahead here and snag the talented third-year wide receiver. And we're going to start with wide receiver. Go figure. If you've watched my stuff, you know we love starting with wide receivers here. So we'll start there. I'm going to kind of just look around here. It looks like we got a draft results tab. We can do it. We'll do the draft board here by grid. And you can see a lot of red. Again, it's half PPR, so that's going to push running backs up the board here. And pick 6 is interesting. I think for me, though, getting Justin Jefferson is a priority this season. I don't care if it's half PPR, full PPR, or standard. One of my favorite first-round picks. And you see Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon go. And I think in this point, we're probably going to want to start pounding some running backs early because it is half PPR. And I believe the roster settings, we're going to start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. So if you play in Yahoo, we'll try and figure out what kind of running backs we can get for us. But let's go back to the player tab here. We'll be picking up in 4 picks here. You're looking at Chubb, Lamb, Evans, Travis Kelce probably should be off the board pretty soon here. I think he's going to be the pick if we get our choice. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, I love both those guys here. But man, Travis Kelce, in terms of half PPR, I have Travis Kelce. Where is Mr. Kelce? He's my 15th ranked player off the board. I do think Nick Chubb is a hell of a pick. He did go just before we went a little bit. So Leonard Fournette, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley. Maybe we look at running back in the 3rd round here. I think I gotta land on Kelce though. Let's go ahead and land on the talented Chiefs tight end. So Jefferson and Travis Kelce. Let's see here. Aiden so far. Let's see what Aiden's got brewing. Let me go to draft results. So far, Aiden's got Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be probably lining up a top-notch wide receiver, or we could see him go running back. And you see Mark Andrews go right after I take Kelce, so that's interesting. 2 tight ends in the 2nd round there, Leonard Fournette, Tyreek Hill, and then let's see what our guy Aiden does here with his 23rd overall pick. I have 3 players that I hated to start off the year that I'm drafting. Yep. Yeah, Kelce and John. I can't argue. I'm getting arguably the number. To me, I want Justin Jefferson more than I want Cooper Kupp, and I think Kelce to me is the clear-cut tight end number 1. I don't think it's close. And Aiden gets T. Higgins, one of my favorite wide receivers there. We love the sweet T. Higgins, and getting a part of the Bengals offense is a good call. But let's start the lineup. We're a few picks away. These are the top 6 guys. It's saying I have a shot at Josh Allen here, but I would love it. I mean, if Saquon, Javonte fall, I'm very, very interested there. In terms of running backs, though, I have a feeling Alvin Kamara is going to play the full year. He's going to be my pick here. I think if you're picking in the 3rd round, this is the guy to target. His court case isn't going to get picked up for a while. I think end of September. And who knows? I think they're going to probably try and stall it. And all the tea leaves that I'm reading there with Alvin Kamara is it sounds like he's going to play this year. and they're going to try and push that suspension back to 2023. So Javonte Williams is a really interesting pick here too. He should not be going in the third round here. I have him as my 23rd ranked player. Alvin Kamara is my 21st ranked player, so we're kind of nitpicking here, one guy or the other. I'm gonna take Alvin Kamara because if he plays a full season, he's going to score more points there. So we've locked in Jefferson, Kamara, and Travis Kelce. We'll see what happens on the turnaround, but so far so good. Nice, well-balanced start. What did Aiden end up doing here? He gets Travis Etienne. So he says bit of a reach, but my RB8 in my position. That's interesting. I think Etienne's going to be a guy that's going to shatter a lot of people's expectations. In terms of half PPR, I have Etienne a little bit lower there. He is my RB19. So I still think he's a locked-in running back too. And Aiden, being a Jags fan, you got to get your guy. I have no problem because we know he wasn't going to make it all the way back to the end of the fourth. So that's where if you have to take him, you got to take him. So I don't mind that at all. And then just huge difference. Look at all the red here. Just a huge difference. Half PPR to full PPR. Tons of running backs. Look at all that. Third round, you got Etienne, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Javonte Williams. David Montgomery is a no-go for me in the third round. James Conner, Damian Harris in the third round. Oh, my goodness. Talk about a reach. Damian Harris, third round. Interesting. Someone's expecting him to score another 15 touchdowns, but man, oh, man. And yeah, I love Travis Etienne, and it sounds like he's been one of the. There's been a lot of good Jags reports coming out of camp, but it sounds like Etienne's going to be a heavy hitter in that offense. But I think James Robinson caps his upside a little bit, but I'm excited about Etienne. And lined up as your RB2, I think Etienne's going to be a top 20 back as his floor. But we're up in 6 picks. It's saying Mike Williams could fall to us. Kyle Pitts, we already got a tight end, so we don't need him. Looks like Big Mike went. Akers, Breece Hall, Gibson, Deontay. I don't love any of these guys for sure, but I'm looking around here at some other players. I love Cortland Sutton. I don't know if he's going to get there for me in pick 5. But 4 picks until we go. Let's see how this board falls. You're starting to see some receivers come off the board. A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle, Mike Williams, Kyle Pitts. And you're probably going to start to see a lot more receivers and probably going to start to see some quarterbacks fly off the board soon. And as far as we go, I got Jefferson, Kelce, Kamara. We could get Mahomes. We could slap Mahomes on this team and just roll with Kelce, Mahomes, but I don't know if I need to reach on QB. I'd kind of like to see what happens if we wait on QB. But I'm up in round 4 here. There's nothing that sticks out that I love. None of these running backs are doing it for me. I do like Dobbins. He is the poster boy of this video. But I think with 18 seconds here, I got to get my guy. I got a couple seconds left here. I have Cortland Sutton as the top-rated player. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Broncos starting wide receiver, Cortland Sutton. And this makes it's a lot easier to draft. It's a lot easier to draft Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy now that Tim Patrick's out of the fold. To me, these 2 receivers are going to be on the field a lot. So I get Sutton as my number 2 wide receiver, 4th round. I don't mind paying that price. I got the dude as a wide receiver 1. He's my wide receiver 10. He's my wide receiver 10 in half PPR league. So I love him getting a part of Russell Wilson. I think you gotta look for him around 4. And yeah, the Fantasy Fellowship fully plants their flag in the Cortland Sutton camp. So worst case scenario, he's a 15th top 20 receiver. Either way, I feel really good about him probably leading the Broncos in receiving yards and touchdowns. Maybe Jeudy leads in reception, something like that. But either way, I feel really good about that. And then we'll see what falls here. We're up in 5 picks. Let's double check and see what Aiden is doing up here at the turn. He gets Allen Robinson. I think a lot of people are starting to come around to Allen Robinson being a really good player. Van Jefferson's got a knee thing, so they don't really have a true number 3. I think you're going to see a lot of Kupp and Allen Robinson. And I got to disagree, my friend Scott. I disagree. I think Cortland Sutton, I'm taking Cortland Sutton over Deontay, Terry McLaurin for sure. Allen Robinson's the number 2 receiver on his team, which he could be good. But Cortland Sutton paired with Russell Wilson. Consider this. Last year, we were drafting DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I think DK was around a late round 2 pick. Tyler Lockett was a 4th round pick. Consider it's not exactly apples to apples, but I think you could comp Sutton to Metcalf and Tyler Lockett to Jerry Jeudy. So I think those guys, Bronco receivers. And now that Tim Patrick's out of the fold here, you're probably going to see Cortland Sutton continue to rise. So my turn is next here. We're looking at some running backs here that I like. Gibson, Dobbins, Dillon, a couple quarterbacks here, Lamar, Justin Herbert, a bunch of receivers here. There's DK Metcalf. just in terms of ADP, man, you see this expert ranking here. I got to get my guy AJ Dillon. I know it's kind of early, but we'd be locking him into our running back 2 spot. And I feel really good about Dillon. So we'll lock him in there. Again, it does feel a little bit early for him. I'm going to go ahead and filter here by ADP, and that should pop up. But we might have been able to reach there. I don't know what this X rank is. Is this expert rankings or something like that? We'll see. And yeah, I did see the Allen Robinson red zone touchdown stuff yesterday. So it just looks like, man, like Robinson, you probably got to throw him 1,000 yards minimum and maybe upwards of 7, 8, 9 touchdowns, maybe even more. So I think where you got Allen Robinson there as your wide receiver 2 paired with Juju, like you potentially like Higgins, Robinson, and Juju, those guys are all probably safely in the top 20 with Higgins having a huge ceiling. Robinson, I like those receivers a lot here. So after I take AJ Dillon, you see Lamar Jackson, Antonio Gibson, Joe Burrow in the 5th round, J.K. Dobbins, the thumbnail man of the video. And yeah, Robinson he's flying up draft boards. I think in terms of players moving up boards because of training camp, it's got to be Juju, Allen Robinson for sure. I think you're going to see Cortland Sutton moving up boards. And then you're probably looking at a guy like, let's see, some running backs moving up the boards. Probably you're going to see Alvin Kamara start to move up boards once people start to realize he's probably not going to be suspended this year. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm seeing so far for the most part. But we got a few quarterbacks coming off the board. You're starting to get some more tight ends off the board, about 5 and 6 tight ends and quarterbacks so far. As we are up in 6 picks, let me start to line up a guy. I definitely wouldn't mind taking DK Metcalf as our flex. Some quarterbacks to monitor. You got Murray, you got Brady, Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts would look really sexy on this team. Defense. I don't know why defense is going so high in this. I'm going to go back to the expert rankings, and we're going to trust that. We're almost guaranteed to get some of these guys here. If I go back to ADP here, in terms of who's being drafted, I don't know if anyone sticks out more than the other. Singletary's nice, but again, we already have our 2 running backs locked in. To me, I think it's Metcalf, maybe Rashad Bateman here. I do like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know who Moore is. Is that Sky Moore? We could target Sky Moore later. I do like unless you're talking about Elijah Moore. I love Elijah Moore. I don't know why he's so low on this list here. He's got an ADP of about 99 and 84th overall in a full PPR league in best ball drafts. He's going in the 5th round. So I do like Elijah Moore quite a bit. Rashad Bateman, Devin Singletary, Amari Cooper. We got a bunch of guys that I like here. I think we probably should just lock in Jalen Hurts. DJ Moore. Okay, I see. Where is DJ Moore? Let me look around here. DJ Moore probably went well ahead of ADP here. A lot of quarterbacks. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm kind of interested in Amon-Ra St. Brown as our flex, but I'm going to collect Jalen Hurts. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to target. We'll lock in a top 5 quarterback, and all of a sudden our lineup is pretty much set besides flex. We got Hurts, Jefferson, Sutton, Kamara, Dillon, and Kelsey. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, I'm a huge Michael Pittman's on our draft list in terms of receivers that I love. I got DJ Moore. I would say Pittman's in that. Higgins, Sutton. I love getting. You could probably get 2 or 3 of these guys in your draft. But these are some guys that I'm finding myself drafting a lot. I love getting Mike Williams in the 3rd round, and that's what's cool. Like the 3rd round is so deep for some of these receivers, and sometimes you get them falling into the 4th round. So yeah, I'm all aboard Pittman, DJ Moore. I think the Colts are going to be in for a pretty nice season. A lot more passing than we're accustomed to, I think, over there. And yeah, Cooper Kupp, man, the one thing I'm nervous about, this is the only thing that I can put a pin in the Rams, is I'm nervous about Matt Stafford's elbow. He's already been getting injections and they're holding him back. He's kind of on a pitch count in practice. I just worry about that. Maybe if he gets hit or that flares up on the season, that's the only negative I can think of about the Rams offense right now, is if something happens to Stafford's arm. Yeah, and Deshaun Watson, man, he's an interesting guy right now. We shouldn't be drafting him until we get more information, but it sounds like the NFL is throwing as much at them as they can handle. But anyways, we're up in a few picks. Let me double check the board here. It looks like Aiden landed Amari Cooper to be his number 4 wide receiver. I think that puts him on his bench. I don't know if you guys play in Yahoo leagues, do you guys have more than one flex? Yeah, I love all the Moores. Elijah Moore, Sky Moore, DJ Moore, more Moores. You can get a lineup of Moores there, and I think you could have a pretty good receiving group. I wouldn't mind maybe snagging Elijah Moore as our next flex play. Again, he's low on the list. I'm not really sure why. If I just filter by ADP, Hawkinson, Goddard, again, we're good at tight ends. So we don't need that. If you like to wait on QB, it's a pretty nice round to get a QB. You got Dak, Russell Wilson, maybe wait a little bit on those guys. But I'm liking a lot of I like a lot of value here. You can get Rashad Penny, Tony Pollard, Chase Edmonds if we want a running back here. Darnell Mooney still hanging out there. That's very interesting. I'm going to filter here by the flex tab. We don't need a QB. I'm going to just hit fantasy points. They got Ramondre Stevenson. Whew, they are high on Ramondre Stevenson, Yahoo Sports. Godwin, Thomas, Darnell Mooney. I think for me, the next pick is probably Mooney, Elijah Moore, or Michael Thomas. I'll let you guys decide in the comments there. I'm fine with either one. It looks like Mooney just went. All of the camp reports out of the Jets. I don't know what Justin knows because Justin's a fan of the Jets, but it sounds like Elijah Moore he's the clear-cut number one. He's outplaying Corey Davis. He's outplaying Garrett Wilson. And it sounds like Joe Flacco's actually having a good camp too as one of the backup QBs. So to me, our turn is next. I'm just going to hit the expert rankings again. They do have a lot of running backs here, but man, like if they're this high on Ramondre Stevenson, holy shit, like we can maybe get him later. But let's go ahead and lock in Elijah Moore to be our flex. A huge Elijah Moore guy. In terms of where I have Elijah Moore ranked, he is my 35th ranked receiver in half PPR. I'm probably going to have to, I haven't adjusted my rankings from Jets training camp yet. Probably going to end up boosting him just a little bit because I kind of had it close. It was like a three-man race, I think. But I think Elijah Moore is separating himself. So let's go ahead and look and see what we got here. 7th round, it looks like a good quarterback round. You can find Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. And then there's, I like the receiver value. Darnell Mooney, Elijah Moore. See some tight ends going off the board. So round 7, very, very interesting. Rashad Penny finds himself in round 7 as well. But we're moving and grooving here in terms of expert rankings. I mean, I like Tony Pollard. I like Ramondre Stevenson, Kareem Hunt. These guys are all valuable backup running backs that we can get on our bench. James Cook, he's more of a PPR guy. But, man, check out like Christian Kirk, Alan Lazard down here. Some bangers, some potential wide receiver ones for their teams. Even, I guess, Michael Thomas is still on the board. It sounds like Brandon Ayuk is having a hell of a camp. He's so far from 49ers camp, he's been the best player on the field with Trey Lance. And apparently, I remember last year, like George Kittle was talking up Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brandon Ayuk this year is saying how much he loves playing with his new quarterback, Trey Lance. So I'm interested there. Let me just hit ADP. They got Michael Thomas. We could stash Chris Godwin. I don't mind that pick at all. He's got an ADP of about 88. And we are picking, this is 8th round, so somewhere in the 90s here. I wouldn't mind getting another receiver here. Again, I like a lot of the running backs later in the drafts. We mentioned some guys here. Christian Kirk is criminally low on this list here. A lot of receivers get pushed down. But I like our half PPR backs. It's our turn to draft. Hit that expert rankings. They still got Ramondre Stevenson at the top of the list. We'll go by ADP. I'm just gonna take Michael Thomas. I know I got Alvin Kamara on the list already. Actually, let's. We got 13 seconds to make the pick. More Burks, Wilson. You like Treylon Burks, huh? I'm going to hit Michael Thomas just in case, because if we get Michael Thomas on the bench, and even if he's like 75 to 80% of what he was last year, we're going to have a good time. But I want to take the time to just star some more players because Scott knows his stuff here. I prefer Treylon Burks. I don't love Garrett Wilson. We already got Elijah Moore. I don't know if I want to dip too many pieces into the Jets offense, but I do like Treylon Burks a lot. I also like Olave, but we already got a couple Saints on our roster. Drake London, not a bad play. But man, some of these guys, if Chris Godwin keeps falling and he's ready to go week 1, if he's ready to go week 1, Godwin could be a massive hit. But yeah, I like a lot of the rookie receivers that we've mentioned here. Of course, shout out RIP Tim Patrick. But then Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore's an interesting guy. And hell yeah, Romeo Doubs, baby. Really, I'm a huge Packer fan. Romeo Doubs is having a hell of a camp. So let's hit the expert rankings. They got Brandon Ayuk at the top of the list. Christian Kirk's up here as well. For me, I would probably take Ayuk's kind of the number 2, number 3 guy on his team on a run-heavy team, where I do feel really strongly about Christian Kirk. So I'm going to go ahead and snag Christian Kirk. He's going to be an 80 to 90 catch reception guy. And we've built out 5 really nice receivers. We got Jefferson, Sutton, Elijah Moore, Mike Thomas, and Christian Kirk. We mentioned some of the rookies that we like later. Jalen Tolbert's a hell of a snag at the end of drafts. But let's go ahead and start to pivot and look at some of the running backs available here. James Cook at the top of the list. I like Nyheim Hines for half PPR purposes. We could snag James Robinson, who could be ready for week 1 here. But it looks like for the most part here, we're looking at guys. It's half PPR, so I kind of just want to find guys that score touchdowns. Let me see if I can. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get the queue off there. 8 picks until our turn. Let's look at the board here. Okay, so we got some. It looks like we got some auto drafters here. So it looks like this draft is kind of on the outs. Justin Tucker, Tyler Bass, Evan McPherson, Dan Carlson, Matt Gay. Kickers and defenses coming off the board here. So some guys have checked out and we're probably entering auto draft territory. But man, I'm going to continue to take players here. This ADP is very interesting to me. We're very wide receiver heavy, but that's the value of the back end of this draft. Like you can find, we could snag Trey Lance on the bench here. Let's actually look at all players. Trey Lance, they have him right here next to Derek Carr. Kirk Cousins, not a bad. We can get a nice QB2. Rodgers is criminally underrated this season. A lot of fun QB2s. Traylon Burks is still chilling. We should probably. I wouldn't mind snagging a running back here. Let me look around here. Nobody sticks out though, unfortunately. I don't want to keep taking wide receivers, man. But we'll take Trey Lance. Let's just land him, get him a QB2. If anything happens to Jalen Hurts, we got a fun, high upside quarterback. And I know it's not the best advice to take a guy and maybe you could trade someone. But if anything happens, I do have some trade bait there. I can maybe cash in Trey Lance for a running back or something. But now we have 3 bench spots left. We have Travis Kelce. I don't know if I need a backup tight end, but just out of curiosity, a lot of good tight ends available. Whether it's Cole Kmet, he's going to probably be the second target in Chicago. I feel pretty good about him. But then there's a lot of sleepers. I mean, Irv Smith, he's got a thumb injury right now, but he could be pretty nice. And then some even deeper guys. I love Evan Ingram, David Njoku. There's some sleepers down here. Brevin Jordan, Adam Troutman, a lot of fun sleepers. And then the rookie wide receivers, looks like Traylon Burks. Did he go yet? Traylon Burks, did he go off the board? 4 picks until my turn. Traylon Burks is still on the board. Unbelievable. There we go. It looks like Aiden was sharp to get the Traylon Burks there. He's having a good camp, by the way. So he should be in ESPN. I guess when I do a lot of best ball drafts, and that's full PPR. Traylon Burks goes round 7. So for me, I apologize. I'm not. This is my first Yahoo draft. I don't really know the ADPs that well, but it sounds like Darrell Henderson. Like Sean McVay came out yesterday, and there's reports. It sounds like Darrell Henderson is kind of like the 1B back. Like he didn't say Cam Akers is our starter. He's like, yeah, we got 2 starting running backs. So to me, maybe getting Darrell Henderson here is probably a savvy pick here. So we'll just collect him. And I know Cam Akers probably going to be the lead guy there, but he's still coming off of a pretty significant Achilles injury. If anything happens to him, we could be setting ourselves up pretty nice. And again, we need some backup running backs. And then Burks can do everything on the field, mini A.J. Brown. And yeah, that's it. A.J. Brown really paved the way for Traylon Burks. They're kind of a carbon copy of each other body-wise, like, size and height and weight. But I think Traylon Burks is probably a better he's a great deep threat, but he can do a little bit more horizontally too. Like Burks can do running back type stuff. The comparison out of college was Big Debo, something like that. So I think Burks could be a really versatile player. And I think if I'm giving you guys advice, like I got to recommend taking a rookie wide receiver this year, whether it's Traylon Burks, whether it's Chris Olave, whether it's Garrett Wilson. I think I rank Wilson probably 4th among rookie wide receivers. For me, I'm going to put Burks, Olave. I'm trying to think of another rookie wide receiver that should be higher on boards. Why can't I do it? Burks and Olave are my favorite 2. Sky Moore, I think I would take Sky Moore just because he's attached to Mahomes than the Jets guy. But so far, so good here. Let me just we got 2 more bench spots to fill. We got 25 seconds to make the pick. Cole Kmet should be picked, guys. Jesus, you can't believe he's fallen this far. I'm gonna land Cole Kmet, my backup tight end, and then we'll finish. We got 1 more spot for our bench, and one of my one of my biggest advice pieces that I can give you guys is I know I'm weak at running back. I have Kamara and Dillon. I'm not moving those guys out of my spots unless injury happens. I have Daryl Henderson Jr. there, but the running back position, the first week or two, just be active on the waiver wire. You're gonna find some guys, and we're gonna find a guy or two that we can maybe snag here, and he could be something. So my last pick here, I'm gonna take a running back, whether it is Tyrion Davis Price is getting a lot of carries here as a goal line back. I've heard it's gross, but I've heard good things about Rex Burkhead. Kenneth Gainwell could be a fun PPR, half PPR back here. Marlon Mack could be the starter. Brian Robinson has a goal line back situation. Really interesting. Khalil Herbert. Don't sleep on Khalil Herbert. I've seen a report today about David Montgomery getting snaps on special teams. Like, what the F? That that is not great. You don't want your starting running back dabbling on special teams. I'm going to look for another sleeper here named Tyler Algier. Looks like he was drafted. I wish it would tell me when. But anyways, a lot of running backs available. I'm probably going to land on Kenneth Gainwell here, and then we'll wrap it up with defense and kicker. So I'm gonna do more of these Yahoo drafts in the future. I think it's good to just try different ADPs. I'm usually a PPR ESPN drafter, but I do like giving you guys what you need. So if you guys have any requests, let me know what position you need, 10 team, 12 team, anything like that, and we'll see what we can find for you guys. So we'll land on Kenneth Gainwell here, who I prefer him in the Philadelphia backfield. I think he's going to be a guy that probably leads the running backs in touchdowns and total receptions for sure. Sanders will probably lead the team in carries. But now we will pivot. Let's go ahead and look at defense and kickers. Kickers, I really don't have a strong preference. I like getting an indoor kicker, but it really doesn't bother me who we end up getting here. Greg Joseph, we know Minnesota is going to score the ball a lot. That one wouldn't be a bad pick. In terms of defenses, I'm going to make a YouTube short about this, I think, in a day or two. But there's some defenses, man, that are out there that you could probably start for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Browns are one of them. I know they have a lot going on with Deshaun Watson and whatnot, but this is the Browns' schedule to open the season. Let me know if these offenses scare you. They're going to go at Carolina. They're going to host the Jets. They're going to host the Steelers, and they're going to go at Atlanta. You could legit start the Browns for the first 4 weeks of the year. Another team that has a really nice, juicy schedule that can get you off to a hot start, it's the Denver Broncos. They're going to go at Seattle week 1, Monday Night Football, and then they're going to host the Texans week 2. So the Broncos can get you off to a hot start. There's a couple other defenses that I had in mind, but those would be probably the top 2 that I was liking. I believe there was one more, but I can't remember. I thought it was probably a team that the Saints had a really nice schedule, but it looks like they're gone already. So we'll go ahead here. Green Bay's defense is still available. I kind of like that. But I'm going to go ahead and Philadelphia had a nice schedule. That's who it was. I'm going to take Philadelphia. Let's look at the Eagles schedule. I'll show you guys what we're looking at here. So if your league uses defenses, here's the Eagles. They're going to open up. They're going to open up at Detroit. Tough game against the Vikings, but it's at home. And then they're going to go at Washington, and then they host the Jags. So potential for a nice start to the Eagles season here. So I don't mind them. Otherwise, again, I really like the Browns offense for sure. And yeah, Aiden's wise. He got the Tyler Algier, who's sounding like he's having a good camp. And then we'll end it with a kicker here. Again, I really don't care about kicker. Basically, I want to find a team that's going to win some games, a team that is going to put up points, and typically a team that doesn't have a good defense. But I will take Greg Joseph. I think he was a top 5 kicker last year. So we'll end up with him, and that our draft is complete. So let's review it here. We ended up with Jalen Hurts as our QB1, Justin Jefferson, Courtland Sutton to lock it down as our top 2 receivers. Alvin Kamara, who, again, I don't believe he's going to be suspended. If you're drafting now, I think there's risk baked into it where maybe you don't draft Kamara, but if you're drafting end of August and we have more clarity, Alvin Kamara is going to be a top 10 running back when he plays. So Kamara, I love him. A.J. Dillon, we love A.J. Dillon in half PPR. Kelsey, and then we got some fun competition at our flex spot. We got Elijah Moore, Michael Thomas, and Christian Kirk. Those guys can rotate in and out. And then Greg Joseph, Philadelphia Eagles as our defense. That's fine. And then we got some sleepers here. Trey Lance as our backup QB. Sure, why not? Daryl Henderson, Cole Kmet, and Kenneth Gainwell. So that was a lot of fun. Let me check out Aiden's draft real quick. We'll see what he's got brewing here. Let me go to the draft results. Starts off with his boy Christian McCaffrey, T. Higgins, Travis Etienne. So 2 RBs to start. Comes back with the line of receivers here: Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Amari Cooper. So I like the depth at the wide receiver position. 2 running backs locked and loaded. He gets the Dak Prescott in there. Can't argue with Dak Prescott. I might have taken Russell Wilson over Dak just because I like the weapons there, I think, a little bit. And NFC West, more shootouts potentially. And then you also have Ramondre Stevenson, who apparently Yahoo loves Ramondre Stevenson. Got Alan Lazard round 9. Like I probably should have hit Alan Lazard at some point. Tyler Algier, the leading carry man for Atlanta. And then you got Traylon Burks, Jalen Tolbert, another rookie receiver who I like quite a bit. Tyler Higbee, Dallas defense, and Jonathan Garibay. I don't even know who that is. What team is Jonathan Garibay kick for? Who knows? We'll find out. I'll look it up later. But anyways, this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. Yahoo, we'll do more Yahoo drafts. We're going to do ESPN draft tomorrow night live, so join us for that. Thank you guys so much for your time. Good draft, Aiden. Thanks for hanging out with us, Scott. Hope you guys liked the show tonight. We'll see you in the future videos. Have a good one. Peace.